So here's my pre-question question. This one actually is for me. You notice a lot of things about how we connect with each other, the choices we make, what's holding us back. So my question is, what have you noticed about us lately?
Oh, I think that the thing that's happening right now is a plot, maybe from North Korea, maybe from some unknown place, to waste an enormous amount of productive creative energy. And that plot is called social media. That the first plot was TV that wasted billions and billions of hours of America's time during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But as TV has died, the first thing that smart creative people did was take their TV time and, say, invent Wikipedia, which is a much more productive use of our downtime. But now it's creeping back into, oh, let me just do some social media grooming. Let me just hide out by angsting for a little while about what that person said on Facebook, how thoughtless of them. And it's not unusual for someone now to spend 3 or 4 hours a day doing something in front of a computer that feels like work, but that isn't work because it's giving us a place to hide.
Right. Yeah, that says a lot about us, doesn't it? So it's actually a good segue to our first set of questions, which is on, I'll say, on careers. And a chief information officer in Raleigh writes, it's a real question, how do you know when it's time to leave your job? I'm at a crossroads in my career. This person writes, I could continue in my role and be content. I know the job, I do it pretty well, it pays the bills, but now and then I imagine myself doing something different, opening my own business or chucking it all and writing fiction. I actually have a novel in the drawer. How can I have it all somehow? That's the question. How do I know when it's time to leave my job?
Well, that's a great place to start. Let me try to divide this into several common categories. The first category is the person who seeks to leave their job because it's scary, because it's difficult, because it's easier to run away. And to that person, I would strongly encourage you, do not leave your job, because that difficult work, the tension, as I write about in my new book, is what you got paid to do. And we should seek out tension in our work, not hide from it. But the person who wrote into you is not in that spot. That person is saying, I figured this thing out. I can do it. I'm good at it. Should I leave? This is a really great impulse. This is the impulse to say, I want to get that feeling of being alive that comes from doing something that might not work. And to this person, I would divide, again, into 2 categories. The first category is, are you merely seeking that feeling, and can you accomplish that feeling without quitting your job? So you do not need to quit your job to publish your novel. You could publish your novel tomorrow by printing it to a PDF and emailing it to 100 people. You could do all sorts of work in the world, generous work, work that changes things, without quitting your job. And, back to the TV thing, that's 5 hours a day if you give up TV, where you could be building something on the side. And if you don't need to make cash money from it, it's way easier to get yourself into that really positive sort of creative trouble that's so fun to dig out of. Because instead of always hustling to make a buck, you're hustling to make a difference. And you have a huge advantage because you have a day job, so you can work to make a difference without worrying about supporting your family. But there is the person who says, no, 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 I have a vision for a change I can make in the universe and make a living at the same time. And to that person, I strongly encourage you to quit your job, because your life is not your job. Your life is what you live and the choices you make. And just because we have 4 generations behind us that worked every day until they were 65 doesn't mean you have to. And I hope before you do that, you will read 2 books, one of which is free. It's called The Bootstrapper's Bible, and it's easy to find online. And the second one is not free.
Seth, is there ever a right time or a wrong time to launch a new product?
When Gutenberg launched the printing press, 2 things were true in Europe. Most people needed glasses, but no one had invented them yet. And 94% of the people were illiterate. This is a really stupid time to launch the book because it takes years to learn how to read, and no one knew how. When Carl Benz launched the car in Germany, it was against the law to drive cars in Germany, and he needed a letter from the king to permit him to do it. There were no roads, there were no gas stations, and there were no all-night drive-through liquor stores. So clearly, all the good stuff gets launched too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only time to launch it, is too soon.
Wow.